Hello everyone, it's Jaapie again. I'm feeling led to remake this Ezion Geber video. Previously I thought there was problems with the sound of the first one, and that's why I want to remake it, but I noticed that it was actually alright. But I'm gonna remake it anyway because I have some pictures I wanted to show on the place that I believe is the Ezion Geber port in East Africa. Before we go there, let's do the same as the first video. I'm just gonna go through everything that I mentioned in the first video quickly. Let's look at a few verses then. Let's start at the bottom. To Chronicles 20 verse 36. He joined him in building ships to go to Tarshish, and they built the ships in Ezion Geber. So that's a place where they build ships. That's important because I'm going to show you later where I think it is. And you see structures there that looks like it can be used for building ships. 2 Chronicles 8 verse 17. Then Solomon went to Ezion Geber and Elof on the shore of the sea in the land of Edom. We see that it is on the seashore and that is in the Edom territory, Esau's territory. So that will give you an idea of where Esau used to be, in what area. 1 Kings 22:48. Jehoshaphat made ships of Tarshish to go to Ophir for gold. Remember, on my videos I show that Ophir and Tarshish is next to each other. But they did not go, for the ships were wrecked at Ezion Geber. So the ships were destroyed by waves at Ezion Geber before Jehoshaphat could send them to Tarshish and Ophir. Remember, Ophir was more inland from Tarshish, and they sold their gold and silver and stuff to Tarshish, and the Tarshish people will then sell it to the merchant ships. 1 Kings 9 verse 26. King Solomon built a fleet of ships at Ezion Geber, which is near Elof, on the shore of the Red Sea, in the land of Edom. So let's start here with it being on the shore of the Red Sea. When you hear Red Sea, you think of this area right up here, there, Red Sea. You think, oh, it's talking about that area. But it's not actually. When you look at information of the Red Sea, the Erythraean Sea, which means Red Sea, was a former maritime designation that always included the Gulf of Aden and at times other seas between Arabia and the Horn of Africa. Originally an ancient Greek geographical designation. So it is a different area than we are made to believe. I want to show you what other texts say on this. The Indian Ocean, third largest ocean in the world, bounded by Asia and Antarctica, Africa and Southeast Asia and Australia, known in ancient times as the Erythraean Sea. The Indian Ocean was the first to be extensively navigated. So we see it used to be called the Erythraean Sea. Now, the Erythraean Sea means the Red Sea. Red Sea, ancient Sinus Arabicus or Erythraean Sea. You see that Erythraean Sea means Red Sea. And it says that the Indian Ocean used to be called the Red Sea. So let me show you on a few maps then of Africa. If we can see it, you have your Erythraean, Rabram. This is the Indian Ocean here, and the east side of Africa. Again, here we see there's Africa. Here's your Erythraean Sea here at the top. Interesting, it says here Herodotus, Herod. Then there's Azania and Ezion Geber. That's what we're talking about today. So go next one. Here you have Periplus, Maris, Erythrae. Again, on the side of the sea routes of the ships here on the east side of Africa, the Red Sea, the Erythrae. You see what it says here, Zanzibar, Zanzibara. Okay. Erythraean Sea, also again the sea routes of the 1st century. Erythraean Sea is the east side of Africa. On this old map you see Erythrae, Rabram again. It's the east side of Africa. Erythrae, you see there's a lot of maps saying this, showing this, that the Red Sea is on the east side of Africa. So that's the pictures that I wanted to show you. I also read before that the Red Sea, the Erythraean Sea, used to be the whole of the Indian Ocean, and then eventually it became a smaller and smaller part of the Indian Ocean, until at the end it just vanished, the name, and they changed it just to Indian Ocean. But that wasn't always the case. Let's see here if there's something else I wanted to mention here. Originally an ancient Greek geographical designation, the term was used throughout Europe until the 18th and 19th century. The area referred to by this name frequently extended beyond the Gulf of Aden, as in the famous 1st century Periplus of Erythraean Sea, which is one of the pictures I showed you, to designate all of the present-day Red Sea, Arabian Sea, Persian Gulf and Indian Ocean as a single maritime area. You see, it says here that all these areas around Africa, on the east side, northeast side, the Red Sea, the Arabian Sea, the Persian Gulf and the Indian Ocean, was called the Red Sea. It went all by the same name, Erythraean Sea. Interesting, right? So it's not just that little part here, the Red Sea. The Red Sea was all of this, even that, all these parts here, everything, all the sea, this whole sea here. There's your Arabian Sea, Red Sea, Gulf of Aden here, Persian Gulf, all of those used to be called the Red Sea. Amazing. It's a good thing to know. It helps you understand the Bible better. So when it says, King Solomon built a fleet of ships at Ezion Geber, which is near Elof on the shore of the Indian Ocean, you could say, in the land of Edom. Different meaning now. Doesn't it have a different meaning now? Let's have a look at the next subject on Ezion Geber. Let's see what the name means. Ezion Geber means backbone of a man. It means backbone of a man. Now, what I did is, for interest's sake, I took a picture of a backbone of a man and I superimposed it onto the map of Africa. What I found is that this backbone fits snugly on the east coast of Africa here, from Mozambique here to Kenya, to the equator. That part is looks exactly like the backbone of a man. And I believe this name is a very old name, because somebody flying had to, when they looked down on the continent of Africa, They came up with this name for this, because that's the only way you can come up with this name. By being high up in the air, looking down on this continent, seeing that this side looks like the backbone of a man. So I think maybe the fallen angels gave this area the name. But that's not the biggest thing I wanted to show you here with that name. Let's see if I can find... I think I closed the maps now. Well, I'll just open it again. What I found with old maps of Africa. Let's see if we can find Ezion Geber. Looks like that's one thing that I forgot to open. Is the old maps of Ezion Geber. Wow, okay, there's a lot of them. Let's begin here. You see here, there's Ezion Geber. It goes from Mozambique up to here, Kenya on the equator. Then you have your Ezion Geber there, from Mozambique to the equator. Here, there's Ayen, also in Numbers 34, one of the border markers for Israel territory. Magadoxa, different spellings. It is referring to Kadesh. Magadesh is the other spelling for it. So you have your Kadesh there, you have your Ayen there, you have your Ezion Geber. Ezion Geber is Ezion Geber. It is the backbone of a man. It's the exact same areas as we saw earlier when we superimposed the backbone of a man on Africa, on the east coast. So from here, Ezion Geber up to the equator here, there's your river, Zion River. Remember, the mountain of Zion is on the equator of Africa. And here you have your Zion River. Here's your Ezion Geber, again from Kenya to Mozambique. Exactly what the meaning of the name is. Backbone of a man, that same area on Africa, just happens to be called Ezion Geber. They changed it a little bit to confuse you. They made it Ezion Geber. Mozambique there to Kenya there. Remember, the Safala is where Ophir is and Tarshish. And then, yeah, that's the maps I wanted to show you. So let's look at, let's close this now. And we can go out of this. I think I looked at this already. Google Earth. So I want to show you, within this whole area, because it's a big area, there needs to be a port somewhere where the town of Ezion Geber is, and where this port is where they build the ships. There's one place that I accidentally found with my searches. You can see I already marked it up here with the red dot with Zanzibar port, or Ezion Geber port. In this area, a place called Bagamoyo. Now Bagamoyo is a very old town. It's actually the oldest town in Tanzania. The country of Tanzania. Bagamoyo is its oldest town, and I believe it to be Ezion Geber. And funny thing with this town is, let's just look at a few pictures. Funny thing of this town is that you're not allowed to take pictures there. You need to get a license from the governing body of the area. they must give you the license to take pictures. It's funny, eh? There's some meaningless pictures really of the area, some old church, what they call a church today. Some old ships, boats rather. There's a little old boat. Welcome to Bagamoyo Historical Town. It's a historical town. It's a very old town. I'm just going through these 20 pictures quickly, see if there's something worthwhile. Doesn't look like it. Yeah. Again, the old church. So let's go to the pictures I wanted to show you of Bagamoyo. Because remember I told you I saw the few pictures I could find of this place, because you need a license to take them. Had this in different sizes, this brick structure. And what came to my mind was, this looks like it can hold the ship or a boat. This one is a small one, so it's probably for boats, to build boats. And it holds it in place as they build it, I think. I've never seen this type of structure before. And it just popped in my mind, maybe it's your spirit revealing it to me, but that this might have been for building boats and ships. You see, you get different sizes of them. Here's a whole bunch of them. Here is a bigger one, you can see there, for a bigger boat. There's these towers, I don't know what they're for. Yeah, who knows, but they're all just forgotten. Nobody knows what they are, but it seems like it's used for building old ships and boats, which is in line with what we read about Ezion Geber, that it is a place where they built ships. Solomon built ships there, Jehoshaphat had ships there built to sail, and it got destroyed here. Here I've got a map of the east coast. It says Yeshua Bagamoyo, and they call this island Zanzibar, but actually Bagamoyo, I believe, is Zanzibar, or Ezion Geber. And Edom was in the area of Zanzibar, but as we saw, Zanzibar is from Mozambique to Kenya, so it can be anywhere in that area. Here's another picture of these weird structures, some of them broken down like this one, but there's a nice big one. Here's a bigger one. For some reason this one has this weird shape here. I don't know what that's for, so I don't think ships has that groove in the bottom of the ship. Yeah, interesting. Here's just about a port that I wanted to suggest to build something like this in this seaport here of Ezion Geber, or what's called Bagamoyo now. And yeah, here's another one of the structures. It stairs up to a higher level. Another one of these structures, there's a few in a row, 3 of them in a row here. You see there, and I think it could have been for a ship to hold a boat. Very interesting stuff. Of course, they will tell a different story here of what this is or was. There's a whole bunch of them. Like I said, it's all over the place. This is all over the place in Bagamoyo. And I've never seen this before. Here you can see a piece of that angled bricks structure. Some of them looks like they were broken down. I think maybe they were a bit too obvious for the purpose. I took this old boat picture because you can see the ribs here of the boat, and just to give you an idea of how these ribs are, that they can lie on something like this, but like I said, some of them have this in the middle, which I don't know why that is. Maybe someone who knows a bit more about boats would know. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's for the rudder of at the back of the boat. Yeah, this part to keep that gap there for that, so the boat can be steered. Who knows? I'm not a boat builder. I don't know. But I found this pictures interesting. So what I said before is this is Bagamoyo for you. Let's go out. And it's right here, Bagamoyo. That is Ezion Geber, I believe. And you can see it's nicely protected by this island from the ocean, so the waves can't really easily damage the seaport. Yeah, it's a very good place to have a seaport, big one, and I think this is a biblical one of Ezion Geber. And then Solomon would send ships down free, come down to here to Tarshish, there, Tarshish, and get the gold there and come back up. Maybe they come up higher here because it's closer to the equator where the Israel, Judah used to be. Because as I said before, I believe this here is Mount Zion, there, Mount Ruwenzori. I believe Jericho is here. There's a place here called Jericho, and the local person told me it is pronounced Jericho still today. You have your Golgotha area where the Israelites gathered and rested before they crossed the river to attack Jericho. They came together at Golgotha. This place here is called Gilgal in Kenya, Gilgal and Jericho. You have your Pella there, your Hermon, here's your Kinneroth of number 34. So Mount Eglon, or Eglon, I think it was a mountain maybe. Your Mount Hor is the northern border of Israel. Here it is spelled with 2 R's. And that's where Aaron was buried. He died here and he was buried on top of that mountain. And yes, so that was the northern border here. As you can see, Zion is on the equator just below the borderline, northern borderline of Mount Hor. You know, all these places are just below the northern border line. This is, as you can see, mentioned in Genesis 36, verse 20, Mount Hor. Sometimes I put verses that talk about this word or place. Yeah. Ezion Geber. And down here you had your Tarshish, your Ophir, Queen Saba place. It's said to be here in this place. No, I can't think of the name of the country. Anyway, it is the locals call this place here with the house of Queen Saba. Interestingly, they should know because they grew up there, their forefathers taught them these things. And we know that Saba lived in the area of Ophir, so it's another proof. The locals, what they believe is also a proof that she was here and Ophir is here. You have your gold and silver mines here. Even here in the northern part of South Africa, your gold mines today even producing a lot of gold. Then Tarshish is just next to Ophir. And you have your Sabia River just below this area. Somewhere here, I'm not going to find it, it's very small. But Queen Saba, the Sabia River, is named after her. Today it's called the Sabi River. So again, another proof that Queen Saba was in this area. And then here is where Queen Saba is, and then the Bible says Ophir and Tarsus are places are together, not close to each other. And when you read the old books, we can see that they are actually next to each other, and that Ophir, they sold the gold and silver to Tarshish, and Tarshish sold it to the merchants. Very interesting stuff. And when you go read Ezekiel 38, it tells you where the Gog of Magog battle will take place, and it mentions between Saba and Tarshish and Dedan. And here we have Tarshish and Saba. So that war will take place in the bottom part of Africa. Right here, this area. It's going to be the war of Gog of Magog, according to the Bible. It's good to know. It's important to know. So this is this video. Maybe it's the reason I must do this again. And oh yeah, Zimbabwe. Mozambique, Zimbabwe. The Zimbabwean people believe this house here was built by Solomon for Queen Saba. And then you have the Ophir also in the same area. So that's it for today. Enjoy your day. Maybe you got something out of this, maybe not. Enjoy your day, bye.